Hey, what's going on, everyone? Servant R.D. Ramont. Go higher. Kingdom of heaven is at hand. Shalom, shalom, shalom. I'm here with another video. And this one would be words of exhortation. It's entitled YAH'S Ruach. You know, there's a shifting that's happening right now. There are tears in the universal fabric that's occurring. The cosmic and the terrestrial and the celestial are becoming one as we speak. Luke described it as the stress of nations, perplexities, seas and waves roaring. Seas and waves represent people in distress, people that have lived deliciously and lived a luxurious lifestyle, find themselves living with limited means because there is a balance that's occurring. An invasion is taking place. And as we see these things happen, we must remember what Luke also said in that same 21st chapter and the 28th verse, when he said, when these things began to occur, look up. Lift up your heads, for your redemption draws nigh. Talking to the children of light. And when he say look up, he's telling us to adjust our thinking. He's encouraging us to look from a different perspective through the word's eyes and understand from what the word has taught us and what we have learned through the word, not through religion, and not through church dogma or church liturgy. That time is done. I've told you this time and time again. Many people, they find refuge in church because they don't know anything else. They don't want to use their minds. They don't want to use the brain and the faculties that the Father has given them. So they want to find solitude and refuge in a church organization, which the Father is breaking down, bringing it to its knees. So as we go into this era, the transition, as demolitions start to tear down this infrastructure that we have grown accustomed to, as we literally see this cosmic shifting take place, I want to remind you to be encouraged. Understand that the Most High have not forgotten us. He's still in control. And as the old song that James Cleveland said, he did not bring us this far to leave us. He brought us through chattel slavery. He brought us through Jim Crow, the civil rights era. And in our own personal lives, we escaped. Many of us escaped the gang banging. Many of us escaped our own people acting like savages. Many of us have witnessed the Karens, the shootings, the riots, the protesting. Yet and still, the Father is in control. Father, he's fusing things together. This is why. There is a cosmic shifting. We're witnessing the celestial being merged with the terrestrial. It's an exciting time, even though times are going to get rough. The lifestyle that we live is going to get more and more expensive. Many of us won't be able to afford to do the things that we enjoy today. As we see people are shifting and moving about the country, they trying to find some type of solitude for their lives. They're searching. Why? Because there is a tear in the universal fabric. It's occurring, brothers and sisters. Truly an invasion. And we must understand what's going on so we can govern ourselves accordingly. That's what I want to talk about by YAH'S Ruach. I don't know if I even mentioned the title of the message, but the title of this message is by YAH'S Ruach. We must understand and we must grasp all of the events that's occurring. And I see how people are moving to Texas, and I have no problem with that. But you must understand, whenever there is an increase in population, the lifestyle in that area will begin to grow and become more expensive to survive. It's already difficult trying to live in California. Homelessness in California is off the charts. My wife and I, we drove in Sacramento. We got off the highway. I can't remember which highway we were on, but soon as we exited the highway and began to drive into downtown, there were tent cities all over the place in Sacramento. We couldn't believe it. There were blocks and blocks of tents, people living on the streets. There's a different established order, a different infrastructure that's being established. And I want to encourage my brothers and sisters, as well as myself. I need this encouragement too. That time and an era that we have grown so accustomed to is ending. And a new regime is being formed. You have the leaders of this free world. You have developers. They moving about the country. They down in the South, in Alabama. They down in Mississippi. They in the Carolinas. And they are developing luxury establishments. Down in Atlanta and in Atlanta, Georgia, and Augusta. You see where they are beginning to gentrify all those regions. You see where gangs were throwing up signs, bragging on their territory, their so-called territory, place where they live, the place where they gang bang, the place where they oppress one another. It's being gentrified. Many places are going up for sale. And all these powerful gang members are finding themselves having to relocate, having to find another spot to live. What's going on? There's a shifting that's happening, brothers and sisters. We must understand what's going on. We can't get discouraged. We got to remember the promises and the benefits of Yah. As we go into a more simpler and easier lifestyle, we must remember the Father's benefits. As we see gas prices and the price that it costs to live and to feed yourself, food prices are skyrocketing. It's going to continue to climb. Why? Because there is a tear in this universal fabric. It's a caring, brothers and sisters, and I'm here to encourage you as well as myself. Do not forget who the Most High is, because he's behind it all. There's nothing we can do to stop it. All we can do is codify with the Most High's order, because that is what's occurring. As you read in Revelation where it says the kingdoms of this world have now became the kingdom of the Most High. That's what's happening. So we must understand. Church as usual, the way we looked at religion in the past, will not work in this new establishment. Oh yeah, the developers and the movers and shakers of this era, they think they pushing a reset button. Then they got all of us, including Hebrew Israelites, talking about the reset like they are in control, like they got the end all be all, like they got the final analysis, the final word, like they are the final frontier. It's not the case, brothers and sisters. I want you to understand, as we move away from the world that we've known and move into the world that's already here and being established, we must not forget the Most High's benefits. As I say, down in the South, they want to make Dallas the new LA. And there are even surrounding areas in Texas where they're trying to make the new San Francisco. Texas has become the new California. People, they must understand, things going to get so hectic that people going to think that the Father has forsaken, not understanding that times and seasons are changing. I mean, the regime is being transferred. Many people don't understand that when Elizabeth passed away, that signified a transition. The Father will not forget us. Understand that. Oh, they say Gen Zs and millennials will have a hard time surviving. They say even the millennials and Gen Zs would need $3 million to retire in this new established order, not taking into the consideration or not bringing to the table what happened in Exodus. I mean, what happened in Genesis when the money failed. You can't trust in money. You can't trust in your silver. You can't trust in your gold. This message is to the children of light. You cannot trust in those things, brothers and sisters. They have tricked us and manipulated our minds, caused us and motivated us to start thinking and functioning like money will save us. Money will not save you. Don't listen to these YouTubers. There's a YouTuber that I respect. I just call him Jay Black. And he talks about how you're going to need to get rich or die trying. No. You need to trust the Most High. And whatever the outcome is, maintain that trust in the Most High. Because events, people, and occurrences will try your faith and cause you to develop doubt of the Most High. Doctrines that have came in. Egyptologists have steered a lot of the people and children of light away from the Most High into thinking that he doesn't exist and believing that the word, that this book that we call the Bible, need to be thrown away. That's the first indicator that an individual is going down. Don't you remember what Jim Jones did? The first thing he did was threw the Bible in the trash. And the rest of the activities and all that he did began to plummet down into the vortex of hell. I was in an organization where the leader of the organization said, don't read the Bible, and criticized it. And I had to get out of there as fast as I possibly could. This is why I'm not affiliated with no organizations, no camp. And I ain't thinking about trying to join any. You got people joining camps thinking that's going to save them. The only thing that's going to save you is your trust and your dependency and you relying on the Most High. That's the only thing that's going to save anyone in this universal change and transition that's happening. And I just wanted to bring this message, words of exhortation, and remind you of YAH'S Ruach. Because that is the thing that is going to be the ruling, authoritative vehicle that's going to cause all these occurrences and transitions to be meshed into something that will be a beacon of hope. I know it's hard to understand. I know. But these occurrences, there's a merger that's going on, brothers and sisters. When you look at Zechariah, he saw visions. The Father dealt with him. And he saw messengers. That's why I say there's a cosmic shift, a cosmic invasion. We call it angelic forces, but we are witnessing the celestial being merged with the terrestrial. The behavior of people. People are going crazy. People, they have become savages. Why? Because black holes have been opened. Dark matter has entered into our realm. But through all of these occurrences, the Father is still in control. Let me remind you of that. Understand, as you see distress of nations occur, as you see perplexity running wild across the land, as you see waves and the sea of people roaring like lions because they have no answer to what's going on. Understand this, brothers and sisters. Never forget his benefits, as David told us. You say, forget not his benefits. What is his benefits? His promises. His promises, it transcend into action. And those are the benefits of the Most High. Hold on to his promises, brothers and sisters. Hold on to Matthew 28 and 20 when you say, lo, I'm with you even to the end of the age. It's a promise. It's going to transcend into an action. And the action is the occurrences that are taking place to remind you that he said he would not leave you. And he said, lo, I'm with you. What would be the point of him saying, lo, I'm with you, if there is nothing to challenge the situation at hand? He said that because he knew that there would be a time where we're going to be distressed and perplexity all around us. But we must remember his benefits. We must remember his promise. Matthew 28 and 20, he said, lo, I'm with you even to the end of the age. Remember what David said in Psalm 37 and 25. He said, I was young, but I'm old, but I never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. Then you got to go over there to Deuteronomy, the 30th chapter and the 3rd verse, where he say, he, the Most High, Yah said, I will turn your captivity. What did he mean by that? He say, I will, let me read it. I don't want to paraphrase it. Here it is, Deuteronomy 30 and 3. And it says, let me read the first verse. And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse, which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among the nations. Why must you call them among the nations? Call them to mind among the nations, because things are happening so that nations need to hear, because they're going to be perplexed. Well, let me read on. Thou shalt call them to mind among the nations, whither Yahweh thy power has driven thee, and shall return unto Yahweh thy power, and shall obey his voice, according to all that I commanded thee this day, that thou and thy children, with all thy heart and with all thy soul. Verse 3, that then Yahweh thy power will turn thy captivity and have compassion on thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations whither Yahweh thy power have scattered thee. That's a promise. That promise transcends into an action, which is a benefit. You can't forget it. He said he will return. That's what's happening now. The shifting is the infancy stages of our return. Are you listening to me? Ezekiel 16 and 60. The Most High promise said, I will remember the covenant that I made with you. And my favorite, Genesis 15 and 14. He said you will come out with great substance. These are promises. So no matter how Tesla is making cars that cost between $100,000 and $200,000. General Motor and Cadillac is joining the bandwagon. How you can't even buy transportation because they making it so hard. It's hard to buy a used car. I bought a Colorado 3 years ago, and the dealer, it wrote me all kinds of letters wanting me to resell it back to them. There's a shifting that's happening. And in the midst of it, things are going to get more expensive. It's going to get more expensive to live. The food price is going to skyrocket. But through it all, you must not forget the Most High benefit. And when I say forget not his benefit, that means you got to walk and codify with the Most High. You can't forsake him. You listening to me. So be encouraged, because YAH'S Ruach is in control. So when I look at Zechariah, the 4th chapter and the 6th verse, we see the Spirit motivated Zechariah to tell Zerubbabel what was going to motivate him in reestablishing the Father's order. At the time when Zechariah was prophesying, the surrounding nations were oppressing the Israelites, our foreparents. And they were living in ease. They were living in comfort, just like today. And our grandmammies and our grandpappies, they were wondering, they say, why isn't the Most High punishing these people? They are prospering. And they are living high on the hall. They shining. Why are they shining and we scuffling? That is the basis of this text, which I'm about to read. Stay with me. I'm almost done. So the Father spoke to Zechariah. He showed him 4 horns. And the 4 horns represent the 4 world powers that was going to occur. And the world powers that will oppress the Father's people. And when Zechariah saw it, he saw how powerful they were, but the horns would be thrown down by craftsmen, by skillful men, by an angelic host. Thus, the Father will fulfill his promise. And he motivated and told Zechariah to tell it to your people. He also saw a man measuring Jerusalem. And Jerusalem represent the people of the Most High. Zechariah saw it. He saw this man measuring the people. And he also measured the wall around the city. Represent that the kingdom of the Most High, which is Jerusalem. Jerusalem bears the name of the Most High. The Father said, I will put my name there. And when you talk about Jerusalem, you're talking about the people that's been scattered abroad. You must understand, when Zechariah saw this angelic host, this cosmic representative measuring the temple, measuring the city, measuring the people, it was the promise of the Most High to protect his people and restore his people. Then Zechariah saw Joshua. He didn't see Jesus. He saw Joshua. There was no J back then, so he saw Yeshua, which was a representation of the Hamashiach who will come and restore things back in its proper order and restore the relationship and the cohesion between the Father's creation and his created man. And when Zechariah saw Joshua, the high priest, he was standing before the Most High. And he saw the accuser, Ha-Shatan, bringing accusations against him. But this was a picture of how the people of the Most High, this Joshua represented the people of the Most High and how they would be accused by the accuser, but to no avail. Father showed Zechariah these things. Then Zechariah seen a lampstand that continued to burn and continued to have oil. And this is the depiction of the Father's Spirit, the Father's Ruach, which is given without measure, which helps and assists the Father's chosen people and all that latch on to his chosen. Zechariah seen a woman in a basket called Ephah, which represent the wickedness of the nation. But the Father's word and his spirit judged that nation and brought it to its demise, totally and utterly destroyed the nation, so that Zerubbabel, who was commissioned by the Most High, can go back and restore the land. So the text denotes a time where our people were in captivity. It denotes a time when Nebuchadnezzar took all the vessels and took all the goods out of Jerusalem and took them to Babylon. And the Father called Nebuchadnezzar his servant. So you had on one end of the spectrum evil happening, but at the other end, the Father is working. He's the grand weaver, and he's molding and shaping and rotting out his plan. So there's no difference today as we see nations roar, as we see prices skyrocket, as we see that it would be difficult for people to retire and for people to navigate in this system. Just understand there is a cosmic shift. Just like it was back in the time of Zechariah. So Zechariah was told to tell Zerubbabel to go back to Jerusalem, that sacked city, that Nebuchadnezzar burned down. Go back and rebuild. And Zerubbabel was looking like, man, I don't know. This is a hard task. I don't know if I'll be able to accomplish it. This kingdom is so strong. Because Persia had taken over at the time. So you had Jerusalem come under the attack of Babylon. And then after so many years, Persia came in and attacked Babylon and had the children of the Most High, the children of light, in captivity. And so Zerubbabel, he was looking at all of the power and might of these kingdoms. And he was like, there is no way I can be able to go back and reestablish Jerusalem and rebuild the city. Look at what I'm under. Look at this powerful nation. Look at how this nation has destroyed many other nations. Look at all this military might. Look at all of the planes the warships and warheads and nuclear power. How in the world I'm going to be able to stand against that? Sound familiar? Zechariah had to reassure Zerubbabel, because Zerubbabel was perplexed. Him and all of his brothers and sisters, they saw how they were prospering. They saw how they were shining, how the wicked were faring sumptuously, making money, oppressing them, jacking up the prices, making it hard for them to just survive, to buy food. Zerubbabel was like, how in the world am I going to be able to stand against this? How? They prospering. They shining. They living high on the hog. And they doing whatever they want. We can't make it. We take 2 steps forward and the 3 steps back. We going nowhere. We running in place. How, Zechariah? Zerubbabel asked. Thus, you get to Zechariah 4 and 6. Zechariah turned to Zerubbabel and said, listen up, partner. Understand this and hear me well. Stop tripping. I was thinking the same thing, bruh. And I didn't know how in the world we was going to get out of this situation. You got forces all around us that's so powerful that they swallow us up. We've got nothing when we look at ourselves. And we look at our ability, our limited craftiness. When we look at all this without the Most High, we are most miserable, man. But check it out, Zerubbabel. Zechariah speaks to him in the 4th chapter in the 6th verse. It reads, then he answered and spake unto me, saying, this is the word of YAH'S unto Zerubbabel, saying, not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit, saith Yahuwah of hosts. That summed it all up. Zerubbabel had no fear. I know this nation look powerful, but it ain't by their might. It's not by their power. I know they look high and mighty, but it's not by their might. But it's by my spirit, my Ruach. That's why I entitled this by YAH'S Ruach. As we see the Father was about to restore Israel to the kingdom, to greatness. And he used Zerubbabel along with Nehemiah, along with Esther, and many a host of other of our uncles and aunts to reestablish. They saw the task as being too large. But the Father says, by my spirit. When you look at Genesis, Spirit of the Most High was there at the beginning. In the beginning, Yahweh created the heavens and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit. But y'all know me. I got to dig a little bit deeper. I got my shovel, and I dig deeper for the jewels. And when you look at the Hebrew word of spirit, it's Ruach. Ruach denotes a power that's beyond the realm that we're in. Ruach denotes the transcending of the celestial powers in the heavens into the terrestrial limitations in the earth. The Ruach, it comforts. This is why Yahshua said, I will send you another comforter. The Ruach goes wherever it chooses. This is why Yahshua said the Spirit goes where it listed by the Ruach. Can't no power. When you talk about Ruach, there is no power on earth that's in heaven or in earth that's opposing the Most High can go against the Most High order. You may oppose the Most High, but in the end, your opposition will be used in the Father's favor. Then he would turn around and punish you for opposing him. That's power. This is what Zechariah had to tell Zerubbabel. He said, by my Ruach. When you talk about Ruach, when you break it down in the Hebraic form, it denotes a head, the principle. When you look at the word principle, the etymology of the word principle means first. It was there at the beginning. This is why Zechariah told Zerubbabel, it's by the Ruach. It was that at the beginning. So therefore, it's in cohesion with the Most High. So therefore, it's the head, it's the chief, it's the commander, it's the ruler, it's the leader. It's first. Then it transcends into a deeper form of meaning. When you look at the word Ruach, you move into the Ah. We just explained the Ra, but now we move into the Ruach. Ah represents a connection, a bond. It represents something that attach. It means together. It means to fuse together. Are you listening to me? So you have the cosmic force, the beginning, the first. This is why Yahweh said, let those that hear what the Spirit, what the Ruach saith to the assembly, or saith to the churches. The Ruach, the Spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. The Ruach. But when the Ruach is in charge, it brings a unification to the Father's people. This is why the Most High inspired and ordered Zechariah to tell Zerubbabel, it's about the Ruach. Because the Ruach is the commander, and it just don't command and dictate, but it fused together. It merges anything that may seem like an opposition, and it directs that opposition and the merger and the subjects, meaning us, into the direction in which the Father has ordered. Are you listening to me? Let me stay calm. So when you look at the word Ruach, it's not only the head, it's not only the commander of all universe, of all the heavens. The Ruach goes where it listed. It's a commander. And Zerubbabel was told by Zechariah, it's by the Ruach. So it supersedes the might of men. It supersedes the power of the world. Russia and Ukraine is at war. Joe Biden's sending all kinds of money and just breaking down the infrastructure. Billions of dollars to Ukraine. And making it more and more harder and difficult for people in the United States to have a comfortable lifestyle. But it ain't by the might and power of the United States, nor Russia, nor China, nor Korea, nor Ukraine. It's not by none of those, nor the so-called Middle East. It's not by, but it's by the Ruach that was there before all those kingdoms even came into existence. Are you listening to me? It's by YAH'S Ruach. So you have the unbridled force of the Most High flowing through the universe, doing the Father's bidding, placing things in order, smashing things up, breaking things down, reestablishing the Father's order. Zerubbabel was given the affirmation that that power is going to assist you into reestablishing the Father's order in his holy city. Ain't that something? So look what Zerubbabel had to, look at what Zerubbabel, the affirmations that were given to him. But I'm not finished. I dealt with the and now we dealt with the Now we dealing with the last part of that word, Ruach. The Ruach represents life. The represent that which is uncontrollable. The unscrupulous behavior of the kingdom that we in. The connection will bring it into order. That which is undomesticated, if you will. The word Ruach means to bring it to order, to refine, to its well cultured. So you got all of that Zechariah told Zerubbabel. Let me read it again. He said, not by might, nor by power, but by my head principle, my beginning, my commander, my ruler, my organizer that I sent forth into the world. By my organizer that is meant to merge, that meant to consolidate that which is out of order, and that which job is to bring and to refine all the shifting that is taking place. He said that's what it's by. So everything that you're experiencing, just understand this, is bringing things in alignment with the Most High. That's why I named this message by YAH'S Ruach. So we may find ourselves having to live a more simpler and easier life. Well, the Father maintain the lifestyle that we have. It's up to the Father. It's up to the Ruach. But we must remember, whatever goes down in this unstable, fallen kingdom, remember that it's all by design. That their power is not going to be the final frontier. Their might is not going to be the final frontier. But the final word, when all the dust settles and the smoke clears. The saying out there, they say, y'all don't want that smoke. The Ruach say, bring on the smoke, partner. You ain't saying nothing. Come on, let's get it on. And when the smoke clears, when the dust settles, the Ruach will be the final word. This is why in Revelation it says the Spirit, the Ruach says, come. Ruach was in the beginning. The Ruach was through all the scriptures. And the Ruach got the final word in the book of Revelation. Don't forget its benefits. Be encouraged. He didn't bring us this far to leave us. If we can just survive chattel slavery, this stuff that about to happen is peanuts. Understand, the Father is in control, and he sent his Ruach throughout the earth to do his bidding, because he said he would restore us. He said he would establish us. He said he would turn us from our captivity. He said he would never leave us. He said he would be with us. He even motivated David to say he never seen the righteous forsaken. And he said that he going to bring us out with great substance. And it's by YAH'S Ruach. Servant RD. Shalom.